What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Do you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote non-stop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact-checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed, so we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
I think they've come a long way. Meta, Facebook. I think they've come a long way. I watched it. The man was very impressive. I watched it. Actually, I watched it on Fox. I'm not allowed to say that. Say it?
Do you think he's directly responding to the threats that you have made to him in the past? With
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Good evening. Today is a different type of show because I know there's a lot of people out there who are kind of like side-eye about this. With good reason. There was people side-eye about Tim Ballard yesterday because there's all kinds of, as they say, disinformation out there about him. And there's people who are actively trying to shut people up like him. I understand earlier in the chat there were a lot of people kvetching about Tim Ballard in my interview yesterday and saying some really, really nasty things. I like to think of positivity, meaning if you want to see this thing fixed, why don't you talk about what we can do to change things? That's all I'm going to say about the Tim Ballard thing. If you don't like him, don't watch. Now we're going to talk about Zuck. I'm going to give you a full disclosure before I begin, because I know a lot of you are really apprehensive about this whole Facebook thing, despite the fact that Trump said it's going to be a good thing. Even though your boss, your president, said, yeah, it's going to be a good thing, there's still a whole bunch of you in the chat who undoubtedly are like, nah, this don't smell right. So my first full disclosure is I've probably, endured more pain and loss on Facebook than most of you. As I've mentioned before, I had one of the biggest Trump Facebook pages back in 2016 and 2017, and I was unceremoniously told, go away. An entire business just went poof one night. Click the button and go away. You're not welcome here. So I know full well everything that happened with Facebook. We got lawyers involved. All kinds of things happened. And it was pointless. You couldn't fight them. I was even doing, social media marketing work and advertising for that agency I told you about. And I had to even use a different phone number and a different email address to even run ads. But for some reason, my Instagram account is still sitting there. But there's a couple pages that I ran that, weren't taken down. I just can't access them. And I say this only because I want you to know I understand specifically how you feel. I lost a thriving business because they decided one day they didn't want me talking about Trump. Just poof, gone. Go away. But I also know that people have to grow. And if there's anybody who's went through pain, loss, heartache, none of us have had to endure what Donald Trump had to endure. They kicked off the President of the United States. They shut him down. As he has said many times, they're not after me, I'm just in the way. And that was so true. Once they got rid of him, then it was open season on Trump supporters. It was very easy. So this man was arrested, mugshot, thrown off of Twitter, thrown off of Facebook, thrown off of Instagram, completely shunned. People laughed. The media was ecstatic about it. They embarrassed, or rather, they tried to embarrass Trump to no end. So, if Trump, the man you voted for, and I understand this, you guys don't like this sometimes, but if the man you voted for overwhelmingly invited Mark Zuckerberg to Mar-a-Lago and let him kiss the ring and said, do what you need to do, but fix it, and he now is like, we're going to work with him, what's your problem? I know that stings. You're like, ow, Barry, you're stepping on toes. No, again, everything I do, every time I plan a show, I listen and I watch and I see what Trump is doing. None of us lost as much as Donald Trump did. And you're watching him one at a time say, this is the way to fix this. Does he trust Mark Zuckerberg? No, he doesn't have to. Because now he's in charge. So is Mark Zuckerberg being altruistic and he's worried about his own butt? Probably. Is Mark Zuckerberg doing this out of business interest because he's worried what would happen if he doesn't embrace MAGA? Probably. I don't care. I don't care if those are his reasons, because it's going to allow us to do what we need to do. And every time I do a show, and I see people complain on Twitter or X, and I see people in the chat, and I'm thinking, stop. Watch the boss. He, if you trust Trump, which I believe you do, I don't think you think he's going to put you in harm's way. I don't think you think he's going to make decisions that are bad for America. And so as I watched today as things unfolded, and I listened to a bunch of different shows, I listened to Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck said that his traffic to his videos and to his website dropped by 80 to 85%. They basically turned things down on him as well. We all experienced it. And even he knows, he's got other reasons. There's other reasons why Zuckerberg is doing this. He's trying to save his own ass. Yep. That's exactly what he's doing. Trump has got him in a checkmate situation where you either come and do what I need you to do, or you're going to be in serious, deep poo-poo. That's it. There's no other way to go. How do I know this in addition to what Trump said? This stuff started being posted today. I want to show you this thing here. I don't know if you guys know who Brendan Carr is, but I want you to see this. Brian Stelter posted a copy of the video, and it says, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X starting in the United States. And the media lost their mind over this. Brendan Carr responded with that. Yeah, you better do it. Do you know who Brendan Carr is? Maybe you might want to look him up. Brendan Carr is the incoming head of the FCC. He is Trump's handpicked guy to be the head of the FCC. And he posted that. See, there's a big game being played by people you may not even know. But if you look and see what these people in charge are doing, you're going to get a good indication of how it's going to be beneficial to you or /MAGA. You don't have to trust Zuckerberg. I would never say, well, give him a chance. No, the hell with him. He screwed us all. But I see Trump's guys going, yeah, this is how it's going to be now. And you saw Trump. Yeah. That to me says all I need to know. And then Elon Musk posted this. Facebook dumps fact checkers in an attempt to restore free speech. Mark Zuckerberg says moderators too politically biased as he pledges a system similar to X. This is cool. So the Avengers are letting you know we approve. Trump, I approve. Answered the question. Brendan Carr, head of the FCC, we got him. Elon Musk, right hand, first bro, this is cool. So I can't tell you to make it cool with you, but I would say a prudent, intelligent person seeing the people who are going to be leading this country or giving it the nod might be something you might want to look into. And then, the whole enemy of my enemy is my friend thing. Mark Cuban says this. First, ALX says, the comment is that Elon Musk moving Twitter 1.0 closer to free speech with X is causing other tech platforms to do the same because independent fact checkers were admittedly politically biased along with their terms of service, just as everyone has been saying for years. Rabbit Hole says, similar policies, community notes to one Zuck is proposing for Meta, have already been tested and proven to work on X. Periodically, we got articles claiming the platform was dying, only for those articles to be followed by rage when posts on X shaped the broader narrative. And in Mark Cuban, who's upset, says basically, let's see what the user numbers will tell us exactly what consumers think. That's a pretty stupid statement. Of course, there's going to be a large number of libnuts that are going to flee. Zuckerberg already knows this, but he's thinking long term. He understands, I got 4 years of Trump, and then possibly another 4 years of J.D. Vance or whoever. I cannot, as the head of a company, go against what obviously is a movement. And you're worried? Why? Why are you worried? Because of what he did before? Yeah, of course. Yeah, he booted the president. So the vice president of Facebook went on to Fox and Friends this morning. And he sat there and he subjugated himself to about 10, 15, 20 minutes of questions that I've edited down. And we're going to go through these questions real quick. It also helps me because of my voice, which is why I couldn't do the 3:30 show. I'm almost shot, as you can hear me. But let's listen to this.
Wow, this is a big deal. Changes include ending its third-party fact-checking program and lifting restrictions on topics such as immigration and gender identity.
Well, is there anything more important to talk about? Also, until now, Meta used automated systems to scan for violations, but found they resulted in too much censorship. So, from now on, they'll focus on tackling illegal and severe violations like terrorism, fraud, to name a few.
Meta's Chief Global Affairs Officer, Joel Kaplan, joins us live here on the couch. Joel, welcome.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Steve.
Great to be here on the couch on Fox and Friends. Look, this is a great opportunity for us to reset the balance in favor of free expression. As Mark says in that video, what we're doing today is we're getting back to our roots in free.
Now, it's interesting that you say you have to reset, because that means something made you change from what you wanted to do. As soon as I heard the reset, meaning we got to go back, I don't know how many of you had even been involved with Facebook when it first came out. Facebook, when it first came out, and I was one of the original beta users, having worked at an advertising agency, none of this stuff was there. They didn't have all these fact checkers and algorithms that decided which content was going to go where. It literally was a free-for-all. I mean, you could put up a picture of you dancing in the street and you might get 10,000 likes. Everybody was consuming. It was awesome. Everybody made money. You could run an ad for like $20 and make like $1,000. It was incredible. And then all of a sudden, 2016 happens. And then it's still great. But you could see some things were changing. So in order for them to reset and go back to where they were before, I don't know if it entails, hey, is there going to be some place people can go who've been booted off Facebook to reclaim their accounts? I'd love to know that. I would, if I had Zuckerberg's ear, I'd go, excuse me. Is there a website where I can put my name in and you can give me back my pages? Because if you're going to truly do a reset, I bet you there's a bunch of you that got booted off. Even Elon hasn't done that. There's still a bunch of people who are booted off of Twitter. So that reset needs to happen in a big way.
Expression. There's a number of changes we're making, but if I could, and just highlight three.
Yep.
First is, as you heard, we're eliminating the third-party fact-checking system. Well-intentioned at the outset, but there's just been too much political bias in what they choose to fact check and how, so we're just scrapping it.
Right.
So the idea was they're independent fact checkers, but they've just been too biased, and so what we're going to do instead is adopt a system like X has of community notes. So we're just going to rely on our own community of users to provide people more information about what they're seeing, and we think that.
So you're going to do like X. Those of you who are on X, hopefully you're on X, have seen what community notes looks like. These third-party fact checkers, nobody was fact checking the fact checkers. They were basically government agencies. They called them independent, but you and I both know these people came from three-letter agencies, and they were told and they were doing the work of the government. Oh, take that down, boot this person, and they basically took over his company. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to actually understand what did they do to mine themselves into these companies. Matt Taibbi and some of the other guys who looked at the Twitter files, they found that out there too. It took Elon Musk buying Twitter to expose it all. And so you look at a guy like Mark Zuckerberg, and who knows what they threatened him with.
It's going to work.
So give us an example. If the headline is Donald Trump won the presidency, then anyone in the community can write notes underneath it?
Yeah, great question. So somebody can write a note, and then the way it works is different people on the platform can sort of vote on that note. And if you get people who usually disagree, who all say, yeah, that sounds right, then that note gets put on the post and people see it. X has been doing it for a while. We think it's working really well, and we're going to adopt that system. So the second one is about the rules that govern content on our platform. They've just become too restrictive over time about what people can say.
This one is huge. The fact checking is huge. I believe this is huger, if that's a word. Can I say huger? I'm going to say huger. Because fact checkers would fact stuff that they just didn't already kick off. They would only fact check this box. Their first line of defense was, oh, you're even talking about this? Oh, can't have that. We don't even want you discussing this. Stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Stuff with the, Speedo wearers. You couldn't even mention this stuff. There was no reason to fact check it because it just got obliterated. It would be made to disappear. And if you tried it a second or third time, you're going to. So the content moderation is even, in my estimation, more important than the fact checking. You don't even get to the fact checking if the content doesn't meet or didn't meet these people's standards. The algorithm sniff it out and you're just gone. That means a lot to these people. There's 3 huge social media digital platforms. One, I don't want to use my middle finger. One is Facebook / Instagram. 2, X. 3, YouTube. 2 of the 3 logs, the big trees, have now fallen. Don't think for an instant that these guys know what's coming to them. 2 of the 3, boom, have fallen. And they're basically going to be doing the same thing as the other one. We're not going to do this. We're going to do it this way. It's working. It makes sense. YouTube, you should be doing the exact same thing. And he's going to say something here that I said to you guys earlier, or maybe yesterday, which makes the most sense of everything.
Including about those kind of sensitive topics that you mentioned that people want to discuss and debate. Immigration, trans issues, gender. We want to make it so that...
Imagine that. Imagine being able to openly talk about boys playing girls' sports. I'll have to probably delete that because these people won't like me saying it. Being able to have a conversation of something currently on people's minds. In addition to the newcomers that we have to make funny words up because, the people here don't like you talking about it.
Bottom line, if you can say it on TV, you can say it on the floor of Congress, you certainly ought to be able to say it on Facebook and Instagram without...
Isn't that a novel statement? If you can say it on television, if you can write it in a newspaper, if you can put it on a blog, if you can say it in the halls of Congress, why in the hell can't you say it on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook? How does that make any sense? I could turn on Joy Reid right about now and hear her spewing all kinds of venom. She can say whatever she wants. I couldn't even say the stuff that she says. I couldn't make a recording and go, hell, tonight Joy Reid said blah, 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 blah. If you even said what she said on television, you would be blipped into the ether. How is that correct? Who are you protecting? You're protecting the media. In addition to political aspect of everything, you're trying to protect the media. Because given an equal footing, if we're all in the same starting line, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, and even Fox, they're in trouble. They are not going to be able to compete with the Joe Rogans of the world. They're not going to be able to compete with the Benny Johnsons, the Patrick Bet-Davids, and eventually me. They're not going to be able to do it. Don Lemon has already proven that. Brian Stelter, you're nothing. You got nothing because you guys don't understand how to relate to people. And so by making it a fair fight, they're really, and what Facebook is doing, they're going after the media.
of censorship. So we're changing those rules. We're also going to change how we enforce the rules. And we're going to make it so that there's way less over-enforcement and way fewer mistakes that actually make up the vast majority of censorship that people experience on our platforms. So big changes, all in service of getting us back to our values of free expression.
So, Joe,
there's no question that the things that happen at Meta are coming from Mark, but there's also no question that there has been a change over the last 4 years. We saw a lot of societal and political pressure, all in the direction of more content moderation, more
pressure. Pressure by whom? The government. It was the Biden administration, the Obamas, whoever in the deep state, were telling these people, do not let these people talk. And I am 100% positive it was all conjunction with the media as well. Nobody wanted to hear. No, watching these people today, let me just tell you, I flip this, a couple of channels before I do my shows, and I watch what these people say. They are screaming lunatics right now. They look completely lost. There's nobody giving them any direction. You can now see that. The White House isn't putting out the stories. They're not getting any content. They're not being told what to say. And they have nothing to say. You can turn on any one of these networks tonight and they got nothing. And now just compound that with the social media networks saying, well, we're done. Everybody can talk. That's got to be terrifying to these people. The whole thing today with Trump, we're going to go through all that. I got some highlights for you. Talking about Greenland and talking about the Panama Canal and this and that and the other thing. They're screaming. Running in circles, hair on fire, nuts. That's not news. It's not even opinion. They're just freaking out. And now, all this is happening at the same time. It's too much for them.
Censorship. And we've got a real opportunity now. We've got a new administration and a new president coming in who are big defenders of free expression. And that makes a difference. One of the things we've experienced is that when you have a U.S. president and administration that's pushing for censorship, it just makes it open season for other governments around the world that don't even have the protections of the First Amendment to really put pressure on U.S. companies. We're going to work with President Trump.
Did you hear what he just said? It's bad enough when you have a U.S. government that's jumping on you from censorship, but when the other countries see that you're doing it, they all pile on as well. That's why they're freaking out about Elon Musk right now. Oh, he's election interference because he's talking about what's going on in the UK and what these people are done to kids. Even CNN tried to somehow come out and say that Elon was saying something, he shouldn't be talking about what's going on in the UK or Germany or whatever. This is world reaching in terms of what's happening right now. That's why I'm trying to encourage you guys to get your arms wrapped around this. This is absolutely earth-shattering.
Trump to push back on that kind of thing around the world. Well, there's no question that there's an opportunity here with a new president taking office, as I said, who really believes in free expression. And that's just going to give us the space to get back to those values that Mark has talked about for a long. Mark gave a big speech 6 years ago at Georgetown about free expression, about these values. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of political and societal pressure here and around the world that have pushed away from those values. We've got a real opportunity to reset, get back to them, and really provide a space.
How was the Biden administration putting pressure on you specifically? Were they calling where they didn't like a post? What did they say? Take it down?
Yeah, so Mark talked about this in a letter he sent to the House Judiciary Committee a few months ago. That sort of outlined the way in which we got a lot of pressure around COVID in particular to take down more content, even things like humor and satire about.
What he said there, I had to blip it, is the pressure they got wrapped around the pandemic and even memes. They wouldn't allow people to even talk about it.
So, we did experience that kind of pressure. The decisions we made ultimately were our own. But there's a real opportunity here with President Trump coming into office with his commitment to free expression for us to get back to those values and really provide.
You're hearing a word over and over. And I'm seeing some of the chat here. And people are like, why are we talking about this? I don't think you're grasping this. Actually, for some of you who are saying it, I know you're not grasping this. This is a monumental shift. The destruction of censorship is absolutely huge. It is so critical to the success of the MAGA movement. Some of you guys are brushing this off and not really understanding. There are a lot more people in this world than you and I. There are billions of people, billions, who are being influenced by content. It is myopic. It is tiny for people to think this stuff doesn't matter. I hate Zuckerberg. Maybe look into things like color revolutions and understand what the psychological movement can be for people who can now openly communicate. I'm not making an overblown case about this. President of the United States was kicked off of a social media platform that reaches billions of people around the world. He got kicked off of all three of them. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the time. All of them. The Democrats cannot win another election on a national basis if people are allowed to communicate on an ongoing basis. I don't care if you trust Zuckerberg. I'm trying to get you to understand what the opportunity that's before you right now. I'm trying to let you know what you need to do as MAGA to broaden Trump's tent. You are going to be commanded. I'm telling you, this is where he's headed. To spread the benefit of MAGA. If you don't want to, you think Zuckerberg, then you're not helping out. You're not doing your part. Hey, Barry, I don't like the way you're talking. I'm going to unsubscribe. Whatever. We won on November 5th. I want to keep winning. I watched tonight, just before I came in here, and I was sitting there with the wife watching Brett Baer's show on Fox, and I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. They had Katie Britt from Alabama on the panel with John Fetterman. And Fetterman, who we all thought was off his rocker, is sounding more and more like a Republican. They passed the Laken Riley Act today, and he's like, he was like, I can't understand why anyone would oppose this. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't understand why people don't get it. It is hard for people to change their ways. I know. It's been hard for me to change my ways. I love blueberry muffins. I can't eat them anymore. But you cannot continue to be the GOP conservative you were even a year ago. Earlier somebody said, Barry, you've taken a hard turn to the left. No. I'm on the Trump train, and I'm shouting it from the rooftops. I'm making videos 2 and 3 times a day because I'm telling everybody this is it. The opportunity we have right now to change America. We will not have again if we don't get it done now. The game wasn't over on November 5th. It just started. So if we need a little bit of team building, then fine. But understand, everything you thought about the Republican Party died before Trump got reelected. This is a new game. Pick up your arms, whether it be, the poo-poo kind, or your keyboard, or your camera, or your cell phone, and get in the game. A huge door is being opened for you. I have my Twitter group trying to help people learn how to use X. Get back on Facebook. Don't say, I'm not giving Zuckerberg my time. I don't care about him. I want you now to spread the good news. The MAGA good news. Come on, people. Come on.
Space for people to have the kind of discourse and debate they want to have. Well, Mark's always going to be Mark Zuckerberg, but I think there is a real opportunity to work with the new administration, both on free expression, but also on American leadership in technology and innovation. This is something we've seen President Trump is really focused on, making sure that we maintain U.S. competitiveness and leadership on technology, things like AI. Those are obviously super important to our company and our industry,
Here's another thing. It's stuff that falls out of these people's mouths, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of people I speak to. I'm not all about that AI stuff. What? I'm not all about that crypto stuff. What? Have you not been paying attention? Trump wants America to lead the frickin' world. He's not happy if we just have Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky and Florida. Trump wants MAGA to basically be a global phenomenon. You can't do that without AI. You can't do that without crypto. That's why he's calling himself the crypto president. If you listen to the press conference today, sometimes I don't think people do. What did the man say? Oh, I need a lot more electricity because in order for us to push this AI and the crypto, we're going to need a lot more electricity. You listening? Put your game face on. Begin understanding what's at stake here. It's not that we won this election. We want to win them all. We just want to keep going.
Look forward to working with the new administration to advance those goals. Well, we made a big announcement yesterday, put 3 new board members on, great board members, including Dana White, the president and CEO of UFC. Guy's a legend, an incredible businessman, incredible entrepreneur, marketing genius. Super excited to have him, a couple other great board members with real deep business experience that we put on the board.
But like you obviously...
Okay, before you hear what Dana has to say here. There were some people earlier pissed off because Dana White began selling Bud Light again. I wish most MAGA people had the cojones of people like Dana White. I want you to hear what this man says right here. And just put yourself in his position going, yeah, we need fighters. We need people who are going to go out there and get bare knuckles with these Democrats and nutty media.
Give a long leash to your fighters about, what they can say when they are up there with the UFC microphone and you are getting into territory of homophobia, transphobia. Like, is there...
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you...
A leash?
like
free speech. Control what people say. Going to tell people what to believe. Going to tell people... I don't tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes.
See, these media people are so into their cocoon. We saw Trump spank these people left and right today. They don't even know how to act. They're like, wait a minute, you mean for 4 years we've been given a note card and Biden would read to us, and Raggedy Andy up there, Karine Jean-Pierre, would just lie to our faces and we just write down whatever they say and we just go ahead and do it. And now you got guys with cojones who aren't going to take your crap anymore. It's time for us all to grow a pair or an extra couple pair. We need fighters. And we don't need people sitting in the stands looking down wondering how everybody else is going to do it. We need warriors. We need prayer warriors. We need content warriors. We need proselytizing of what MAGA is going to do. And these guys are showing us this is what we need to be doing, people.
On any of them. What is your question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on, though.
Yeah, probably a good idea. That's ridiculous to say I give somebody a leash. Free speech, brother. People can say whatever they want and they can believe whatever they want.
So those are important voices. Mark has always been great about getting different perspectives so that we sort of cover the waterfront of ideas and perspectives that we want to make sure are getting fed into the process.
So
I think Elon's played an incredibly important role in moving the debate and getting people refocused on free expression, and that's been really constructive and productive. And we're just glad that we've got the opportunity now to make these kind of changes and to get back to our roots in free expression.
So that man, Mr. Kaplan, must have used the word opportunity, I don't know, 15 times in 10 minutes. And that is the word that I'm trying to get you guys to understand, is the opportunity that's before you. Maybe you don't want the opportunity. Maybe you don't want the responsibility. Maybe you didn't think responsibility was part of the deal when you voted. Maybe you thought on November 5th, I pulled the lever, I'm done, take care of it. Trump, get it done. I'm done, that was it. If that's what you thought, wake up. Understand, it's a whole different ball game right now. I'm in the game. I want you to be in the game. If you don't want to be in the game, that's fine. There'll be enough of us who are going to keep pushing, going to get on this train, be clanking toys all the way down as this train is flying. The days of pacifist Republicans, the days of being the Washington Generals, the days of acquiescence are effing over. I said one time before, and people got upset with me because I said, you know, if it means back like in World War II days, when some of the women were making cookies and bringing them to the front line, and someone's like, I can't believe you said that. Why are you getting pissed at me? You see, you need to find your place in this war. Oh, it's a war. Don't think for an instant that they're stopping. I just want you to imagine right now, where would things be headed if Kamala Harris had won on November 5th? Have you thought about that? You're worried about what I say. You're worried about what Zuckerberg says. You're worried about what this person says and what that what do you think was in store for you if Kamala Harris won? Do you ever want to be, once you remember that, do you ever want to be in that position in the future? Do you want your kids in that position in the future? If you don't want that to be your grandkids' future, which is what I'm fighting for, I'm not going to be here. But I got to make sure, these young children understand that they have the same opportunity, ability, path that I have. Trump's not going to be here. Most of you won't be here. But you better get it done now. Put all your preconceptions away. Put all whatever happened, whatever scars you have, battle scars that you have. Oh, he treated me bad. He said this. He said, doesn't matter. You're fighting for a future. Not just November 5th, not an election. You're fighting for the America you want your grandkids to grow up in. So I'm sorry if some people get upset with me and I step on some toes, because I'm tired of people having loser mentality. I want you to be fighters. I'm not telling you to trust Mark Zuckerberg. I'm telling you to trust Trump. Watch the moves this man is making. He's talking about taking back the Panama Canal. He's talking about buying Greaseland. He's talking about annexing Canada. Will that stuff happen? I don't know. But I know what he's doing. You see, what he's doing is trying to teach people, think huge. Think big. Hey, I want Greenland. I want Canada. I want the Panama Canal. It's making people sit back and go, hey, we can't do all this. We can't. Why not? Question yourself. When I was growing up, my coaches, and I told you, when Ashley was growing up, I said, don't say the word can't. You can do anything. You may need help, but don't say I can't. And I see people in the chat all the time going, oh, this doesn't make any sense. I didn't sign up for this. I'm going to go watch some other video because they don't ask me to do shit. Good idea. How do you, good question here. Where'd that go? How do you undo the brainwashing? That's a great question. You undo the brainwashing by doing what you're doing right now. Let me see if I can see. How many people are watching right now? We've got 9,000 people watching. We got people in chat. We got people in the X community. You're not alone. See, that brainwashing that they were so effective with is only going to be broken by your compatriots. Everybody doing this together. Hey, Fred, I see you're not liking what Barry's saying. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Don't get mad. I know Barry can't address every single comment. I mean, there's been times when we've done prayer night where somebody said, hey, I need a prayer for this or that. And I said, can you talk to Jill? Can you talk to Susan? And everybody would talk to her. You guys see people hurting in here? Talk to them. That's how you undo the brainwashing. Randy, you're right. And Randy's a cop, or former cop. There are leaders and followers. Absolutely. But you got to follow the right people. See, leaders will try and show you the way, and you will try to follow, but you're probably not going to do it unless you're being shown what to look for. The reason why I break these videos down, not because I want to spend all this time talking about Facebook, is because I want you to hear certain things that people are saying and why they're saying them. I know this guy's kissing butt. I know that he had to go. I mean, first Zuckerberg puts out the video, then he sends his guy, his lieutenant, into Fox, and then he's basically kissing butt. But you need to bring it back and go, why is he kissing butt? And then I showed you what Elon Musk said, and I showed you what the new head of the FCC said, and I'm showing you how this is all coordinated to let you know you've got your marching orders. The actions of Trump will help with the brainwashing. Yep. If you watch that press conference, and I've got some bits to show you tonight, if you watch that press conference, you will see, or you did see, a man who's taking no prisoners. These people in the media were no match. They may not like what he said. He may not like what I say. But he's telling you what he's going to do. His ideas, his plans. Will they all come to fruition? No, not possible. But I'm going to keep swinging. I'm swinging for the fences. If I hit a couple doubles and triples, I'm okay. But I'm swinging big. When's the last time you've heard this government of America swing for the fences? Biden's trying to do everything he can do right now to cripple America. Trump is throwing out ideas and plans that are causing people to think and talk. Buying Greenland? We haven't even heard these kind of things in the last 4 years. It's big. Barry, many of our family now listen and watch you. Thank you very much. They will come to pass. Trump listens to God. Yeah, he's feeling it as well. Those of you guys who maybe have had a brush with death and then have a renewed look on life, what happens to you? Ever have a gun pointed at you and wondering, oh, is this it? Ever been sick and thought you weren't going to make it? There was a song. Let me just bring this back to you. Song is just amazing to me. It's by Tim McGraw. And the song is Live Like You're Dying. Gives me goosebumps even thinking about it. And I need you to basically saddle up and ride that bull Fu Manchu for 8 seconds. Because when you live like you're dying, this stuff, the brainwashing, all goes away. Because right now we should be living like we're dying. Because that's what they wanted to do to you. And if you haven't heard that song, go download it on Spotify or wherever. Live Like You Were Dying. I believe that's the name of it, by Tim McGraw. And it's about a guy who has cancer, and he just talks about, spent 4.5 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. Jumped out of an airplane. Do everything with gusto. You've been given a renewed lease on life. Trump won. Now is not the time for people on the right to be frickin' bickering. You almost died. You literally almost died. America literally almost died. Live like you're frickin' dying. Why would you not want to live that way? I just got back from North Carolina. I'm still sick, and I wouldn't have traded it for a minute. Robin and I got in the car. We were going to fly, and we're like, let's take the dogs with us. Oh, so we're going to drive 12 hours. Live, man. Just do everything you want to do. Everything that you thought you couldn't do before. And now, one of those things you couldn't do before, call the guy's bluff. Get on Facebook and start talking about MAGA. Do it. Do it. I'm willing to bet the hostages will be released before the 20th. Yeah. And Biden will try to get credit for it. Yeah, I bet you. Jesus is real and working through Trump. Exactly. Virginia, yes, we almost lost everything. Absolutely. I was died and brought back once. Changed me forever. Yeah. Come on, man. I'm not trying to be your coach here. I'm not trying to piss you off or step on your toes. I'm just trying to bring you up to what this guy's going to be doing. And we need you. I need you. Everybody here needs you. Don't get... They want you. The devil especially wants your focus moved. Think about that. The best way to separate MAGA is to cause problems. We saw that a couple of weeks ago. All this stuff about the H-1B visas. Blah, 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 blah. Mike Johnson, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, forward, January 20th, get these people confirmed. All this other stuff will work out. Stay focused. I remember one time a coach told me where I want you to go. Somebody said, how do you get rid of being brainwashed? Draw 2 lines. And one line is where you are right now, and the other line is the top. Everybody thinks that line to get to the top looks like this. But instead, that line looks like this. You're bouncing off the guardrails, but you're still moving forward. I mean, seriously, draw that on a piece of paper so you can see it yourself. Still remember when a coach showed me that, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to get here, and this is where you are right now." I don't know if you can't see it. Okay. And he's like, everyone thinks it's a straight line. It's not. You're going to bounce your ass all off the walls here. But just keep moving forward. All right. Exactly, Linda. Yeah, a lot of people have been through some stuff. It's gonna take a while after being crapped on for the past 10 years. I agree. I completely agree. It's gonna take some time. But it's gonna take all of us to do it and help you. Don't get distracted. It will work. We saw it a couple weeks ago. And now the same people are looking really stupid. Some of them may still be holding on to their grudge. But Trump's like, I'm looking at Greenland. I don't give a shit about this. Not right now. I got a country to save. Keep on trucking, baby. You got to keep on trucking. Good song too. Thank you, Barry, for reminding me to live. After stage 4 breast cancer and treatment at 22, I'm still here, up walking around, enjoying life, and ain't kicking it to the curb. Believe in God. Yeah, absolutely. Coach Barry. Oh, man. Get well soon. I just want to let you guys know that's why I couldn't do 3 o'clock. I wanted to do 7 because I always give away the hoodies, and when I give the hoodies away tonight, then I'm like, I gotta save it. I feel good. Everything feels fine. It's just stuck in my throat, so we're good. But yeah, go ahead. Tim McGraw wrote. Oh wow, yeah, his father. I don't know if you guys knew who Tug McGraw was. Tug McGraw was an amazing pitcher with the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. I almost said Eagles. Philadelphia Phillies, who died of cancer, and he was a major league pitcher. Tim McGraw is his son. Tim McGraw's politics. I'm just talking about the song here. Listen to that song. It's gonna go. It's gonna stab you in the heart. I hope the head of the FCC goes after the networks. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Brandon Carr is going to be doing. I mean, for him to actually post this, I mean, that's one sly, evil gif of Jack Nicholson there. But he said it right after this. We're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X. And boom, Brandon Carr says, "Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's where it's going." And I'm like, am I the only one seeing this stuff? Are people not following and paying attention? Because if you saw some of the stuff I see and end up and talk to some of the people I talk to, I can see where this thing is headed. Let's see here. He looks like he was posting about it the whole time. Let's see here. I didn't see this one. Let me show you this one. Okay. New, an appellate court, this was on January 2nd. An appellate court struck down Biden's partisan plan to expand government control of the internet through Title II net neutrality. While the work to unwind the Biden admin's regulatory overreach will continue, this is a good win. These guys are making stuff happen. He's not even in office yet. Fight, 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 fight. Remember that. You saw it on July 13th. Fight, 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 fight. He didn't say, go ahead and fight each other. Smack the guy next to you and call him, an idiot. He didn't say that. He's like, fight. Let's do it. All right, so pay attention, MAGA. I love this one. We are the new fact checkers. I wish I had said that. I feel remiss that I didn't say that. Since you know now that X is relying on fact checkers, and since you know now that Facebook will be relying on fact checkers, what does that make you? You are now a fact checker. You can now enter notes. It is no longer some unseen entity controlled by three-letter agencies. You are the media and you are the fact checker. There's strength in numbers, people. Remember that. If Joy Reid says something stupid, bang it, hit it hard. She lied. There's been a whole lot of lies being exposed over the last 24 hours or so, with everybody in Democrat circles saying that there's been an insurrection. Oh, no insurrection. Bing. Oh, 6 police officers died. Lie. There are people fact-checking the Attorney General of the United States. Salute. Who said that, these 6 police officers died on January 6th. Lie. Do it. That's on you at this point. Let's see here. Power in prayer. A lot of power in prayer. We know that. All right, so let me show you how things are changing. I've showed you this guy a few times. And I'm not really sure what he's getting at. But let me lead into this. So the first clip I'm going to show you is Jonathan Turley, and he's talking about the appeal made to Judge Merchan to throw the case out up in New York. This is Jonathan Turley.
Interlocutory appeals. They want to see a case finalized and presented in full to them. So he has the advantage here. Now, from the perspective of the Trump team, their view is, look, we think that you made an unholy mess of all this. I happen to agree with them on that point, that there are reversible errors here, and they want to start with the immunity question. Basically, Merchan said there's really no problem here in terms of my use or the introduction of evidence in my courtroom. They have strong arguments against that, and they want the appellate court to hear it. But it looks today, Brett, that this hearing is going to occur as planned by Judge Merchan.
Yeah, and 10 days before the inauguration of the 47th president, which was made official today with the electoral count certification. That said, once this wraps up, you were in that courtroom. As you mentioned, you had some questions about the judge and his actions, and also how the case played out. The appeal process and what they could appeal is fairly strong?
Yeah, the upside, if there is an upside to being sentenced, is that you can finally appeal this case. And this case is outrageous. I mean, even the Democratic senator from New Jersey called it BS recently. It was this novel theory that none of us had really seen play out like this, where they zap back into life a misdemeanor and converted it into a pile of felonies. On top of that, the judge really made a series of reversible errors. All of that can now be reviewed. And even though we don't have a lot of faith left in the New York court system, there is the Supreme Court, but that will take time. But the president-elect will finally get an opportunity to do that. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not grounds here for sympathy.
Okay, so understand what he's saying here. He's saying that Merchan screwed up this case and that there's going to be an opportunity for Trump to appeal. But you can't appeal something that hasn't happened. See, Merchan has not concluded the case, so everyone's just been hanging around, waiting for something to happen. See if they could get him convicted, put it off, and now Merchan says, I'm going to sentence him on the 10th. So Trump decides to go into court, into the appellate court, and say, can you just get rid of this? And then you're going to see what happens there.
Judge Merchan created this conflict. He waited and then set this date 10 days before the inauguration. He wanted to guarantee that Trump didn't have any runway to take off any appeal. And I think that is rather obvious. But he very likely could get away with it because he does know that there is this preference among appellate judges to let the trial judges rule so they can look at the whole case.
All right. That last part is really important. The ideology on appellate courts is usually to wait till the judge actually makes the mistake. They don't want to jump in front of the judge and say, we're not going to allow you to make the mistake, which is what Trump was seeking. He's like, this guy's screwing up. Can we just get rid of this? And so he decided he didn't want to wait till Friday, and then he wanted to bring it in front of the appellate court right away and get it thrown out. And then this happened.
Going to get our legal eagles up on this because we are just getting word now that the judge in the New York versus Trump case has denied the Trump application for immediate pause of proceedings. You heard the president-elect discussing this earlier in that news conference, but they have said now the application to halt all proceedings, including the sentencing, has been denied. We obviously, John, will have to see where all of this goes next, but that's what we're learning right now.
You might be... All right. So he tried to basically jump the horse, and let's go ahead and just get it thrown out. The appellate court, as Jonathan Turley said, they like to there's nothing to appeal. He hasn't rendered judgment. And so the appellate court, which Merchan pretty much knew was going to be the case, said, no, you got to wait until you're actually sentenced. Then once you're sentenced, then you can appeal to the Supreme Court. So now there's nothing to wait for. Nothing to do until Friday, the 10th, where Merchan is going to have the stage and have the platform to do whatever he wants to do. Who knows what he's going to do? He's not going to put him in jail. Forget about that. That's not going to happen. But nonetheless, we're going to have a complete circus where he's going to be convicted, because as of right now, he's not convicted, because he's going to be sentenced to something on Friday. And then the whole wheels of appeal can happen again, but it's going to take time. It's going to go way past January 20th, blah, 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 blah. And they're going to say, for the next couple weeks, Trump is the first president to be a convicted felon. Obviously, it doesn't matter. He got voted in a landslide. It's only going to make things worse for the Democrats. If they were smart, they would say, hey, we don't want to do this anymore. It's making people pissed off at us. People are realizing we're playing stupid games and we're going to end up getting more stupid prizes. But they don't care. I don't know if the devil has put scales on their eyes, but they're hell-bent on being able to say over and over and over, convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted felon. Meanwhile, Trump's out here trying to buy Greenland. But the problem is, that big tent I've been telling you about is really starting to grow with people who are just disgusted with the Democrats. And you've got very prominent people who are basically on the fringe who are calling out the stupidity of the Democrats, like Fetterman is calling them out. Charlemagne Begad is calling these people out. Very influential people on the outside going, this is stupid. You're making me look stupid. Well, I've featured this guy a number of times, and I want you to hear what Stephen A. Smith had to say about this Democrat debacle.
Surprised with what I have to say about this. This is the kind of stuff that just validates assertions about stuff being politicized. Maybe not specifically with Trump, but the suspicion definitely is there. What is the purpose of this? Is he going to jail? Is he going to jail? You're going to get a fine. We got to sit up there and go through all the pomp and circumstance when you know you're not going to do anything. He was certified today as the next president of the United States of America. Come January 21st, he will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States of America. But you want to sentence him.
It's a joke. At this point, they are embarrassing themselves. You've got people all around the spectrum who are now going, this is what you got. This is what you expect me to support. Barry, why are you showing us this Stephen A. Smith clown? Because this is where opportunity is exposed to you. This is where you begin to see there's going to be a lot of vulnerable people who are like, oh man, these people are clowns. The Democrat Party is bonkers. Stephen A. Smith is talking to tens of millions of people. He's letting them know these Democrats are clowns. You should be doing the same. Use his own words. Use his videos.
You're Juan Merchan. Who is he? The state Supreme Court Justice in New York? You want to sentence him next Friday. And by the way, what is the sentencing about? Because, see, we got to be real about it. We just got to be real about it. 34 felony counts. It sounds very, very damaging. It's a hush money case. Essentially, the case against Donald Trump is that he is alleged to have engaged in relations with a former porn star, and he made efforts involving finances to keep her mouth shut. That's what all of this is about. You know what some people said to me when they were talking about this? They said, could you please tell me what's the difference between this and somebody signing an NDA? I don't know the answer to these questions. I'm just telling you what people's thought process is.
It doesn't make any sense to anybody anymore. I don't think enough of you guys realize just how much power you have right now, just how strong you are. in terms of just blowing the doors off these people. And now you got Zuckerberg saying, well, hey, MAGA people can go ahead and talk. Hey, I'm on X. Hey, you guys can talk. Everybody go get some. Let everybody know how stupid this is. This man is going to be sentenced on Friday. I believe Friday's the 10th. But we're not going to put him in jail. We're just going to sentence him so we can call him a convicted felon. As if that frickin' matters. To nobody. Nobody cares. Only you nuts care. We already know what was going on. And now what you're doing is you're exposing yourself to the fringe. You're exposing yourself to the people who you need to win in 2026. Because now these people are looking side-eye at you and going, this is stupid. Especially people like Stephen A., which is why I included it, who are in the sports world. Do you have any idea how many athletes and entertainers have had to sign NDA agreements with people because of indiscretions that they may have had? They all know. They all know this is BS. These people have embarrassed themselves to no end. And so I'm just bracing you. I think the 10th, the 10th is Friday. You're going to hear it. Convicted felon, convicted felon, convicted felon. It's going to be everywhere, and it doesn't matter. They're embarrassing themselves, and you have a golden opportunity to get out there and say something about it. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. Paying people off is a misdemeanor. Yeah, they try to do anything. My understanding, Donald Trump on file for appeal for merchant. Nope, I just showed you. The appeal got denied. The appeal got denied because there was no judgment. You see, the jury found him guilty or whatever, but the judge has not finalized the case. That will be finalized on Friday. He will sentence him probably to community service or something stupid like that. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be, we're going to suspend sentence and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a clown show. Merchant is a judge and God is the judge of all. Yeah, that is coming. Dems are self-destructing. They deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. Yeah, what about Clinton paying over $800,000? That was just to one woman. Yeah, they're not nuts, Barry. They're pure sickos. All right, so here's what I got coming up for you, so you guys can not be here all night and my voice will last. Those of you who didn't see the press conference earlier, my top 10, or the 10, however I want to call it, however you want to call it, I got 10 clips of the press conference that I want to show you, and we're going to talk about them.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's been amazing news for me and my family when he was elected in November. We've been waiting 4 years to increase our investments in U.S. to a very large amount of money. We are a company operating in more than 20 countries around the world. We have delivered more than 45,000 luxury units and another 45,000 in the pipeline. In data center, we are in 10 countries around the world, in Asia, Europe, and Middle East. And we're very, very excited now with his leadership and his open strategy and policy to encourage businesses to come to U.S. For the last 4 years, we've been waiting for this moment. And we're planning to invest $20 billion and even more than that if the opportunity in the market allow us. But at the moment, we're planning $20 billion in data center, catering for the AI and cloud business for the hyperscalers.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Mr.
Great
President.
honor. Thank you very much. So nice.
He said 20 billion. And did you see what that 20 billion was for at the end? He said AI. 20 billion and more. And his name is Hussein. And he's shaking hands with Trump saying, I'm bringing 20 billion here and we're going to push AI. And I get people sometimes in the comments going, oh, I don't want this AI stuff. 20 billion. This is big money, big business. Get on board.
9.
Set this up. This is Steve Witkoff, one of Trump's really good friends, one of his golfing buddies, a billionaire in his own right, who's negotiating with the guys over there with Hamas or whatever to get the hostages back. And what's very interesting about this is that this dude is doing this and Trump's not even in office. Just think about that. You got an entire United States government that's not doing crapola, and this guy's flying over and talking to whoever he needs to be talking to get these hostages back, whether alive or dead. And Trump says throughout this press conference, you better do it. You better bring these hostages back before I get in office. What kind of a limp-wristed idiot are you to not understand when he says you're going to have hell to pay? And Trump's standing there like, you do know what that means, right? I mean, if you were someone I needed to collect money from, and I go, if you don't have my money by Friday, you're going to have hell to pay. What exactly does that mean? It means I'm going to put my foot up your butt. That's what it means. Do these limp-wristed liberals not have any idea what testosterone is? I'm serious. To sit there in front of this man who got shot in the head and said, what exactly does hell to pay mean? That's why your party lost. That's why your party got landslided. They're tired of it. They're tired of the DEI. They're tired of the soy. They want a man. They want strength. And this dude is saying, you better get this done. If you've never been talked to like that, which probably some of these soy boys never have been, you don't understand what it means.
Well, do I have to define it for you? Look, all hell will break out.
I hope there were no women there, because the way he just talked to that guy, do I got to tell you what it means? I need to define it for you. Come on, wuss. The women in the audience are probably like, damn, dude. Damn. He just clipped your nuts, man. You don't even, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. How do you not know what that means? You got a guy looking you dead in the face and like, understand. This is about a 1.5-minute clip, and he let them know 4 times. 4 times. If it ain't done, it's going to be hell to pay. Let me just tell you again. If it ain't done, there's going to be hell to pay. If it ain't done, there's going to be hell to pay. What more do these media people not understand? This guy's going to rain holy you-know-what on these people if this isn't taken care of.
In the Middle East.
Number 8.
Iran. The U.S. launching a preemptive strike on Iran's nuclear facilities.
And I said, I don't talk about it. It's a military strategy.
But it is a legitimate question. It's something
well, it's not really, because only a stupid person would answer it. Look.
They're so not ready for this. So this guy asked him, are you gonna do this and gonna do that? He goes, I'm not telling you. You're a reporter. I'm not gonna give you up the United States military strategy. Why would I do that? But it's a serious question. No, you're stupid. Only a stupid person would ask that type of question. You've got the ability to speak one-on-one with the president, the future president of the United States, and you're wasting your precious film time looking like a freaking moron. Hey, you gonna blow up somebody? Why would I tell you? You would be the last person I would tell. Man, if I had an opportunity to interview Donald Trump, even for one question, it wouldn't be, are you sure you're going to really blow up somebody? Oh, my God.
Look, it's a military strategy, and I'm not answering your questions on military strategy. All right, one more.
Number 7.
It's ours. We're going to be changing sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Oh, Oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, for bringing somebody like this back. I was watching, I was live. Robin was watching Fox afterwards. Harris Faulkner just said, wow, okay then. The guy is just putting stuff out there. They're not doing Gulf of Mexico, it's Gulf of America. That's what we're going to do. I don't even know how you do that. I don't know who even named it. I don't know who's got control of the names. Trump's like, we're going to change the name. Man.
Which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. And it's appropriate. It's appropriate. And Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico and Canada.
So think about you're a reporter. You're CNN. You're MSNBC. And you've only been watching this for 5 minutes thus far. And how many different things he has said already that you would have never heard from another president. We're going to change the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. What? So it means you have to talk about that. You see, he knows, he is so shrewd, he knows you now have to promote this for me. You're going to talk about it. All of you. You may call it crazy, you may call it stupid, you may like it, you may not like it, but you're going to talk about it. What does that do? I want you, and I'm asking you a serious question right now. Yesterday, you had no idea that the Gulf of Mexico could be called the Gulf of America. Now tonight at 8:29, your incoming president says, hey, we're going to change it to the Gulf of America. What does that do? It means it's put out there into the public realm. Now it's a debate. Hey, Fred, what do you think about it called the Gulf of America? Well, that sounds pretty good. Hey, Joe, what do you think? Gulf of America? And you're going to talk about it. Now you can go on Facebook and talk about it. You have that opportunity. Yesterday, that opportunity didn't exist. And so now people are going to be talking about the Gulf of America. Hey, Trump wants to buy Greenland. Trump wants to buy Greenland? He can't do that. How the hell is he going to buy Greenland? What do you mean he's going to buy Greenland? News is going to talk about that. You now have the opportunity to go talk about Trump buying Greenland. All this stuff. Hey, we're going to take over the Panama Canal. Fred, did you know we might take back the Panama Canal? They have to talk about it. They're not going to sit there quiet. They're going to talk about it. Even if they hate it, they're promoting it. Go back and read if you've never read Art of the Deal. His book from, 30, 40 years ago? And there's something in that book that will give you some insight into Donald Trump. And if you've never heard this, let me be the one to tell you. Donald Trump once said, good publicity or bad publicity, I don't care. It means they're talking about me. Because he understood that no matter who it was, especially if it's the networks, if they're talking to millions of people, there's going to be a good amount of people who may hear that and go, Gulf of America? Damn. That's a good idea. That's a damn good idea. Gulf of America. It's got a ring to it. Let's put it on a t-shirt. Let's make memes about it. Gulf of America. Made me think, I'm like, well, why would we have named it after Mexico? You got the whole Florida panhandle all the way through, Mississippi, coming around New Orleans, Texas. What? Why is it named after Mexico? I don't know. Did Franco da Gama or whatever discover it? I had no idea. Did Christopher Columbus? Why is it named the Gulf of Mexico, and who was the one who made it that name? And I'm sure it's pretty easy to find out, but now we're talking about it. Greenland, SV. I'm telling you right now, if you want to know about Greenland, SV, one of the mods in here, he'll tell you all about Greenland. I didn't know anything about Greenland. I probably couldn't have pointed it out. And now I'm finding out there's trillions of dollars of minerals up there. And so what happened when he started talking about Greenland? People had to say, the Danish minister had to come out, oh, we're not selling it. you might not have a choice. You know, he's talking to you right now, but what if he wants to take it? He said something in I think I may have it. He's questioning, do they even have the rights to it? Which means people have to talk about it. Hey, let's go ahead and annex Canada. He didn't say it in a vacuum. Everybody's talking about it. The Canadians are like, look, I think, what did Trudeau say? Oh, there's no snowball's chance in hell of Trump ever getting Canada. You're talking about it. You see, good press or bad press is still press. And Trudeau and everybody else in Canada is now talking about it.
6.
A horrible place. One of the things we're going to do is we've got to fix the election so that we get honest counts and they get done by 10 o'clock in the evening or something thereabouts. They have places where they're still counting votes.
Number 5.
Can you imagine that? Having a one-day election? None of this stuff that just goes on and on and on forever. Again, something to talk about. Makes the Democrats chase their tail. They don't want one-day elections. They don't want voter ID. This is his first press conference, and all of this stuff that you're hearing in a 10-minute cut clip is all, he just dumped it out there just today.
5.
Police officers were injured by rioters on January 6th. Will you pardon anyone who attacked a police officer?
Well, you know, the only one that was killed was a beautiful young lady named Ashley Babbitt.
In about 30 to 40 seconds here, Trump completely eviscerates the media and destroys their narrative. Done. And the worst part about it is all the networks that covered it played this. You see, for years, they've been saying insurrection, insurrection, insurrection. YouTube has been cutting my videos if I say the word insurrection. They've been saying it was violent and this and that. And everything. He's going to explain it very succinctly why it wasn't an insurrection.
She was killed, and there was actually somebody else that was killed, also a MAGA person, but people don't give it 100% credibility. I'm going to find out about it, and we're going to find out. But Ashley Babbitt was killed. She was shot. Should have never been shot. She was shot for no reason whatsoever. In fact, they say that she was trying to hold back the crowd. And
notice the look and demeanor of the media. He just looked these people dead in the eye and said this woman was shot for no reason whatsoever. And as you're looking at their faces, they realize right now, oh snap, we just stepped into a bear trap. We just let this guy say what's probably been on his mind for quite some time. And now the world has heard directly from Trump on our networks, because I'm sure whoever these people are, their networks were covering it. And you can't pull that back. She was shot, is what he said. And she shouldn't have been shot. Let's continue.
Crowd was made up of a lot of different people, so we'll see. But I will tell you this, the person that was killed was Ashley Babbitt. The other thing is, when they talk, you know, there was never charges of insurrection or anything.
Oof. Boom. You see, as you know, they've been saying that for 4 years. Insurrection, 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 insurrection. Trump in 2 minutes just destroyed that entire BS. Just destroyed it. What do you say to that? Now he's going to explain to them why it wasn't a so-called insurrection.
Like that. But if there were, this would be the only insurrection in history where people went in as insurrectionists with not one gun. Okay? And let me tell you, the people that you're talking about have a lot of guns in their home for hunting and for shooting and for entertainment, a lot of good reasons.
I haven't heard anybody say it that way. If it was an insurrection, how did the most armed population in the country, who you all know, have lots of guns? None of them were the guns. And these media people are stuck. I mean, hold on, look at their faces here. Stuck. Oh my God, what did we do? we asked this guy a question he was actually prepared for. Not like Dementia Joe, who has no clue what's going on and has to use cue cards. You're talking to someone who's got it going on upstairs, was prepared for your question, and is smacking you down.
But there wasn't one gun that they found. And why didn't they find the bomber, the pipe bomber? You know, they know who the pipe bomber is.
I'm telling you, you've seen the Southwest commercials, you want to get away. Right now, that woman's like, oh man, what did we do? We're not ready for this. We are so not ready for this dude. He just pivoted. What's he call it? The weave. Let me weave on you. Let me give you some weave right here real quick. Man, they're not ready.
FBI knows who it is. The status of the FBI has gone down so far.
Number 4.
He's a master. He is an absolute master with the press. And some of those reporters I've never seen before. I don't know if it was the B team or what. But they weren't prepared for the stuff he was dropping on them. Well, not at all.
4.
Back on Greenland, your position is clear, but have you directed your staff to take specific actions to draw plans? And can you elaborate again? You didn't rule out military coercion.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But
now that was boom. Now, if you're a reporter and the incoming president of the United States just said, we don't even know if Denmark has the rights to Greenland. What should go off in the back of your mind, and what should be going off in the back of your mind is, he already knows. He already knows where he's going. What do you mean you're not sure if Denmark has the rights to Greenland? Of course they do. I'm not sure. Ooh, which means he's been checking that out. He's been digging, which should tell you this is not just some ploy. The man is really thinking about this. His son flew over to Greenland today. Something's going on.
if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You look at, you don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen.
So he went from talking about it to, we're not going to let it happen. It's an issue of national security. So if I was in Denmark right now, I would have a very, very tight sphincter. I ain't letting it happen. I don't even know if you got the rights to it, but you can't even control what's going on up there with Russian and Chinese ships, and it's a matter of national security for us. So he's pretty much telegraphing to Denmark and NATO and everybody else, it's national security, which means we might have to just take it.
And if Denmark wants to get to a conclusion, but nobody knows if they even have any right, title, or interest. The people are going to probably vote for independence or to come into the United States. But if they did do that, then I would tariff Denmark at a very high level.
Number 3.
The leader of the Conservative Party, Canada, said, under no circumstance will never be the 51st state.
Maybe he won't win, but maybe he will.
I'm going to. It suggested.
Listen, I don't care what he says.
Sir, go fast. You were considering military force to acquire Panama and Greenland. Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire?
No, economic force, because Canada and the United States, that would really be something.
Look at their faces. I mean, seriously, look at these 30-somethings realizing right then and there, we are really out of our league here. I mean, you just look at those faces. That's not happy to see me. That's like, oh, this dude is serious. Oh, yeah, he's serious. Oh, yeah.
You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. But here's the problem with Canada. So many friends up there. I love the Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it. We're spending hundreds of billions a year to take care of Canada. We lose in trade deficits. We're losing massive. We don't need their cars. You know, they make 20% of our cars. We don't need that. I'd rather make them in Detroit. We don't need the cars. We don't need their lumber. We have massive fields of lumber. We don't need their lumber. We have to unrestrict them because stupid people put, restrictions on, but I can do that.
I just want to keep directing you to look at the look on their faces. You can listen to Trump and just look at their faces, and they realize, A, we hate this dude. We can't stand him. And B, we can't compete with him in these press conferences.
With an executive order, we don't need anything they have. We don't need their dairy products. We have more than they have. We don't need anything. So why are we losing $200 billion a year and more to protect Canada? And I said that to, as I called him, Governor Trudeau. I said, listen, what would happen if we didn't subsidize you, if we didn't, because we give them a lot of money. We help them. As an example, we're buying icebreakers, and Canada wants to join us in the buying of icebreakers. I said, we don't really want to have a partner in the buying of icebreakers. We don't need a partner.
Now, that is true business right there. I don't... Have you ever been in a position where you're looking to buy real estate or something, and somebody's like, I'd like to do a partnership with you. I don't need you. Why would I give up something? What are you bringing to me? I'm the one who's defending you. I'm the one who's giving you billions in subsidies. What are you giving me in order to entice me to be your partner? These little 30-somethings have no clue. They don't even know how to respond to that. They've never been in a position. First of all, they probably don't know how much money America gives to Canada. They probably don't even know anything about these icebreakers. None of it.
Number 2.
Secondly, sir, Elon Musk has drawn some criticism and a lot of attention for some of his actions and provocative statements about foreign affairs, including in Europe. Your reaction to that, is that appropriate for...
You mean where he likes people that tended to be conservative? I don't know the people. I can say Elon's doing a good job, very smart guy. I don't know the people you're talking about. He was, I know he said some negative things about a couple of people that are running for office, but that's not so unusual. Yes, please.
Ouch. Again, you have the opportunity to ask the President of the United States a question, and you ask him if Elon Musk is being a bully. Hey, that's just how it is. Again, they don't understand. What did you think he was going to say? Well, I've told Elon stop being a bully. Dana White, Elon Musk, they don't care what you people think. It's like the idea of testosterone has been foreign to these people. Absolutely foreign. It's amazing.
Number 1.
To Greenland and the Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you...
I'm sorry. Again, think you're Denmark, Panama, Mexico. Are you willing to assure the people that you will not use any military force? No, I can't do that. What? That means it's on the table. Here's a guy who's not even in office yet. Once you understand what he just said, number 1, why would I assure you of anything? Number 2, why would I even tell you any assurances to the world like that? Are you willing to assure you won't use military? Nah, can't help you.
Tell us a little bit about what your plan is. Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
Yeah, I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that.
Those were just some of the hits that I wanted to show you from this press conference because I found it amazing that, number one, they weren't prepared. Number two, they couldn't even respond to what he was saying. And that this man means business. I know that was a little bit, so let me go ahead and look at some of your comments. Our president is brilliant. Yeah. They'll never learn because, you know why they'll never learn? Because it's not even in them. Remember, these are probably some of the people who've grown up liberal, who everybody got a trophy and participation trophies and, you know, time out instead of getting your butt beat and all this other kind of stuff. And now they're adults and they don't even understand how this can be happening. Well, Ashley sent me a text earlier, or a tweet earlier. Tom Homan is going to be holding weekly press conferences updating people on the deportations. It's going to be awesome. Attention Kmart shoppers, the tail will no longer be wagging the dog. Please proceed to the nearest exit. Oh, great. Love that. They are truly dumb. You're right, SB. They are. Playtime is over. We are back, folks. I know there's some people who probably didn't like the earlier part of the show talking about Facebook, but to me, I like to tie things all together because each one of you can do better than those nimrods at the press conference. And now you can, I don't know, look it up. Who named the Gulf of Mexico? And now it's in play. Hey, listen, I found out that Vasco da Gama was the one who discovered Gulf of Mexico, and nobody really objected. Now there's someone who says, I want to change it. I don't know how you change it. The USA can be completely self-sufficient. Barry, please don't give out pacifiers. No pacifiers. Nobody. No pacifiers. Oh, yeah, you're right. I missed that one. Somebody was talking about one of the judges up in New York saying that Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million. And he looks up and goes, that chandelier is worth $18 million. Perfect. And of course, nobody in the audience, none of those press people could even respond to that. So my voice held up for the most part. Let me go ahead and get to the hoodies before I can't talk anymore. We'll do that. I got to give out a bunch of them today because my voice went down yesterday and I wasn't able to give them out. So let's do this. Okay. Let me pull it over here and do some things and click this button and click that button. Let me go back into here. All right, so now we've got the hoodies in place. Let's go ahead and pick the first one. Mary Dolan. Ashley, if you're here, Mary Dolan has won a hoodie. Let's pick another one. And we'll click the button. And, oh, wait a minute. Laura T. Sampson. And I forgot Tommy's drum roll, but let me draw. Where'd it go? Okay, there it is. All right, so now I'm ready to go. Pick another winner. Live draw. And drum roll, please. Number 3. That would be Kurt Sprader. Kurt Sprader. That's 3. Let's go with 3 more. And let's go with the drum roll. Drum roll, please. Number 4. Dawn Marie Sanders is a winner. Dawn Marie Sanders. That's 4. Drum roll, please. And let's pick it again. Robert Reed. Robert Reed, you are a winner. I think we got one more. One more. Let's go ahead and get the drum roll. Drum roll, please. Boom. Oops, don't have enough. My bad. I gotta fix that. 1 second. 1 second. Gotta go in and change this. Means I gave out more than we had. 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. All right, and we should have it in a second here. Okay, Let's go back to it. And drum roll. Lisa Marie Looper. Lisa Marie Looper. You have won a hoodie. All right, everybody. Had to do 6 today because I missed yesterday. Let me go ahead and let you know about our free private X group. Would love to have you as a part of that. Please go to fanfareshop.org/group. We're closing in on 13,000 members. It's free. Free. And if you'd like to be included in tomorrow night's giveaway, go to fanfareshop.org and you should be able to register for a hoodie. So congratulations to the winners and everything. And now let me go ahead and acknowledge any super chats that may have come through. Captain Danny Barrow, thank you. All of the moderators this evening, thank you very much. Thank you, Danny. Benedetto Salerno, hey, Morning Joe, this was best version of DJT ever, so F you if you don't think so. Oh yeah, for sure. Magamama, prayers for Miss Robin. Thank you very much for that. Dyslexic Tank. Yes, you made some valid points. A lot of TVs do have, but now have challenges. Do they have their own AI that you can ask questions to, like Grok? Yep, love Grok. Crete, thank you very much. Terry Halleck, thank you. Magamama again, thank you for always bringing us great content and the best mods. And of course, Miss Ashley, please mix honey, lemon, ginger, and turmeric to heal your throat. Ooh, that sounds nasty. Honey, lemon, ginger, and turmeric. I might have to try it. Might have to try that. Dyslexic Tank again. Hey Barry, did you hear Tesla's making their own TV? Wouldn't be surprised if they come with XTV pre-installed right from the factory. He's making big moves for sure. Absolutely. Wow, Cassandra from the Fine Arts Peaceful Haven. Thank you, Barry. In 2014, I was told by Duke I had likely 3 to 5 years because of a genetic issue, heart failure, and vascular brain mass. Wow. Amazing. Congratulations for overcoming that. Awesome. God heals. God heals. Thank you very much. Man, love to hear that. You're still here. Laddie Addy, if Kamala won, you would have nothing. They want everything you have, your house, your land, your food, your money, everything. They hate everyone. Yes, just sometimes remember that. When people start getting upset and they start fighting about stupid stuff, just remember where we were headed. Janine Horton, I love your show, Barry. Appreciate your perspectives. Thank you, Robin and Ashley, all your mods. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And again, if you guys want to know more about Greenland, reach out to SV. The guy is a wealth of knowledge. He knows all about this stuff. Mama Mima, you trust and enthusiasm helps me stay grounded. Thank you. Thank you very much. B. Guerrero, do you think Trump do something about the high interest rates on credit cards because I had to help my kids and I'm 50 grand in a hole? Yes. Credit cards are part of what happens with the prime rate and everything else. So if the prime rate comes down, then credit card interest should come down, but you may be locked into it by contract. So at that point, what you would need to do is find another credit card or home equity or something at a lesser rate and move that balance and close that high interest rate credit card. Danny Barrow, you're spot on, Barry. There is strength in numbers. We must all continue the march of victory as a team for future generations. Absolutely. Anthony Rosanna Colon, official. Hey Barry, we are going to have golf now. The Golf of America. KRO, how you doing, bro? So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth. Revelations 3:16. Ooh, good one. Arnaldo Rivera, you're a great soul, Barry. Keep preaching the truth, brother. Most of us are listening and taking notes. Thank you very much. And I try to show you things and give you a perspective so you can see like the entire picture of what's going on. Vishu, Great leaders have great vision. Their goals seem too big. Then all of a sudden we believe it can be done. Is that a quote? Who said that? I like that. They seem too big. Then all of a sudden we believe and it can be done. Love that. Armando, thank you very much. Wow, I love that quote. Lynn Goldmeyer, think Big Tent. I think some people are being selfish when they think they don't. They latch on to issues, and you just watch this press conference where this, like I said, it's amazing. Donna, all I can say is it's a step in the right direction. If we keep holding grudges, we'll never move forward. Thank you, Barry, for being yourself. Yeah, no grudges. Let's build this thing. Build it for the future. Despicable meme. Barry, I propose Trump peacefully annex by negotiate Canada, Greenland, and South to Mexico, Panama, the Canal, the United States of North America. I've been seeing that meme as well. Sue Rabin, Facebook is worldwide free speech for all. And again, I'm not asking you to forgive Mark Zuckerberg if he's injured you. I'm not asking you to trust Mark Zuckerberg. I'm asking you to use Mark Zuckerberg. Understand that's a tool. That is a tool now that will be an opportunity for you. Has nothing to do with him anymore. Just see if that tool can still work. If we can make it work. The left is, wait a minute, where am I? This is Sandra J.G. Thompson. The left is trying to scare those who don't know what freedom is, as free speech is evil, just the opposite. Yep, exactly. Helen Tower, this is awesome. Yes, expand the tent. Big time. Kingdom principles. Love that. Dino R, the promise of MAGA is finally within our grasp. Yes, it is. Don't forget that. Sandra J.G. Thompson again. Barry, those of us from the 50s remember freedom. Some of those folks don't really know freedom. That was part of their plan. They knew if they stopped people from being free, us old people would be gone, and these new people who don't know freedom would be okay with being subjugated to whatever they wanted to do. It's up to us to show them. Paul Triggs, Zuckerberg still needs to be charged over Russia, Gate, and COVID. I said the word. He's still censoring. Fine him, jail him. I'll leave that up to Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. Marty Covey, Barry was in FB jail for a week, was due off the 23rd, but woke up to hear the news and was a free man. So they took you out of Facebook jail. That's incredible. Let me see. I think that's everybody. Oh, okay. Mel Porter, great show tonight. Thank you very much. And Dennis Pope, those reporters looked like Daddy was schooling them. Yeah, they did. They looked completely out of their league. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't do the 3 o'clock show. I'm actually glad that I got through the 7 o'clock show. Just to let you know, I like being on a strict schedule. As soon as I get my voice back and everything, I'm going to be dead on my times. But right now, I don't know how I'm going to feel, after an early show, or if Trump decides to do an impromptu, press conference that lasts for 2.5 hours. So I'm trying to make do until I get completely healed. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I apologize if I missed the time. Talk to you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock, unless, of course, Trump does something crazy earlier in the day.